Welcome back to Necronation Japan. This is Jeremy coming at you from over here in Japan. Today I'm going to go over the concept called Kaizen. So Kaizen is a Japanese business philosophy that really got started in the mid 80s and really there was primary reason for this huge boom in Japanese businesses. So what is Kaizen, you ask? As you can see here, we have the kanji for Kaizen. So Kaizen, which roughly translate to constant improvement or change for the better. Now, this concept is you do a certain procedure almost every day. You look at it, see how you improve it, you come up with a plan, you have an action for that plan, and you go through this. These are the steps we're going to go over here in a little bit. So this Kaizen philosophy is kind of a general overall concept that is really used to create a better business environment, a nice team work group, and it goes forward towards this ever increasing in efficiency, cost effectiveness, and a whole bunch of other areas that just trim out the fat from your daily business and really get you focused on whatever that particular goal for that business or in your everyday life. This philosophy really helps to engage your employees, so they're constantly looking for things to improve in their business and things they can do to improve themselves. It really helps in business environment, cleanliness, giving a nice, safe environment. If you feel safe, you're much more likely to work harder. So improving that safety is always the top priority. And just everyday little improvements that over a long time kind of build up and add to this Kaizen mindset, or this constant never-ending improvement. So drilling down into what exactly Kaizen is. So Kaizen is this philosophy. Now, the Japanese adapted this philosophy from a few different sources, but they really took it and enveloped it. So it's philosophy of really honing down on what you do on a daily activities and how can you improve that. Gradual improvements is slowly turning that up and increasing the efficiency on all of your products and everything you do at the company. Result in better profits, longer lifespan of the business, and just overall better working environment for each one of your employees. So some of these small changes you might implement in your business or in your everyday life: increasing your quality control, getting a better product every time you're out there, having checks to make sure it's a better product with your customer as well as any people that you deal with. Excuse me. This just-in-time delivery, I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But this adage, you don't want to have large volumes of your store product or kind of backlog on things. You want to have just a lean business that you do what you need to do to get your products out in time, not too much overhead, just costing you more money in the long run. This really use of efficient equipment. If you have an old piece of equipment that you just don't get the efficiency out of, you need to have it replaced or repaired and get it up and running. You need to get it in running condition so you can further improve that efficiency across the whole business. Lastly, really the elimination of waste. If you can eliminate a lot of the waste from your business, whether that's finding another product that you can use that waste for, whether that's just reducing the amounts of things you need to buy, so you kind of eliminate all waste from your business. A great way to look at things on an everyday basis. Another really key concept in this: these changes can come from anybody in your business, whether that's the janitor, the CEO, financial department. Anybody in your business could have some large changing thing that kind of shifts the whole dynamic of it, saving you a lot more money, improving everybody's work environment. And it's continuous improvement, but it doesn't always have to be slow continual improvement, which is always good. But it could be something that shifts everything dramatically, just a different way of looking at it, a different product you can then sell. Good example is Henry Ford actually started a charcoal company, Kingsford, is a result of all these trees and the byproducts of his factories when he was making his Model Ts. Very interesting little side note, but I digress. Many companies in Japan have kind of adopted this Kaizen mindset and philosophy. Most notably is Toyota Motor Company. They just, every time they're slowly improving and increasing the quality of their product, which kind of, in a way, lead to their domination of a lot of the American auto manufacturers back in the day. GM just kind of fall off the map, and all these different companies think that, oh, we're biggest, best, but they weren't improving at this constant rate or dramatically if they needed. They just weren't getting good enough results out of the stuff they already had, which led to kind of Toyota dominating a lot of this space. But hopefully that's what Tesla will now do in their space. So we'll see. But I think it's going to be interesting to find out in a few years what exactly happens. Another company that I actually visited, and I'll have some footage available for you during this, is this Asahi Brewery. They also follow the Kaizen mindset through their large production factory over here in Osaka, the specifically one in Suita, Osaka. You go through and you see these large machines and all of this heavy equipment, which is completely idle, obviously, when there's no cans to go through. But when it ramps up, man, it just ramp up, go. And there's a large amount of equipment, but not too many staff on, because obviously everything's automated. They can trend out a lot of beer or whatever product they're doing at the time very quickly if they need to do it. Very cool company. I'm going to include some of the footage and all kinds of different little fun facts throughout from the Asahi Brewery. I like the tour. I encourage you to come and check it out as well. 5 basic tenets of the Kaizen system is, number 1, teamwork. So you want to have all of your team working together to get a general sense of improvement throughout the entire business. Now that's everybody on your team or everybody that employs is always looking for the improvement of that business through every message and metrics that they can find. Number 2, very important one for each individual, personal discipline. They need to have the personal discipline available to show that improvement in every time and working on that improvement in self and in throughout the business as well. Improve morale. So this improved morale is just general throughout the business, whether that's you need to provide a stimulating work for the employee, praises, whatever the case may be. You want to improve that morale. And depending on the business can be completely dependent on what kind of morale boost they would be looking for. The quality of your service or product. So you want to increase that quality of that service or product and allow for you to compete in the global market as it stands. Next, we have the elimination of waste. So you want to have minimal amounts of waste, whatever the product or service. So if service waste would be like you hire somebody, they're on call all the time, but there's not really anything for them to do. You're going to figure out either you reduce that hours, you have them doing something else when they're not engaged in this particular activity, whatever the case may be. You need to figure it out in order to increase your waste, basically decrease your waste throughout the business. Increase the 3 major points. You want your economic efficiency and run a good business. You want standardization throughout the company. This is your set guidelines, and then change it as it needs to be changed throughout the future. The standardization of the people, product, and process, right? This Kaizen process needs to be ingrained within the company's culture itself. It won't work if not everybody's on board with this. If 1 or 2, you may get a little improvement, but if everybody is looking all of the time to improve themselves as well as the company, it's dramatic. The amount of process, product, and people will just improve. Also, throughout the entire Kaizen process, it's really important to realize that there is no perfect end goal in mind. There's no, it's perfect, we're done. There is always this constant redo and remanufacture and do it better next time and do it better next time. Constantly never-ending improvement allows for just about everything in your business to get better. Now, hopefully you're directing your efforts to something that'll make your business better as far as business-wise and increasing your profits and that, and doing it in a nice way where all of your teamwork, which is very important in this, is everybody's improving and liking where they're going. This team improves, so the whole business improves, kind of thing. This is really vital in Kaizen. The teamwork is critical. If your team doesn't work together, you don't have a business. These teamwork work together. You have constant meetings and assessments to figure out what's working, what's not working. Figure out what's not working in order to improve the business model at the fundamental level, as well as each little process along the way. So whether that's just, oh, we put our trash cans here, we do this here, we put this here, it kind of flows everything better and increases overall productivity. All these little things need to be looked at throughout the span of your business, especially if things rapidly change, such as a global pandemic. The Kaizen method uses PDCA method. So it broke down in these 4 major components that allows you to pretty much do anything and improve upon it and kind of cycle it through and keep on going through this whole motion. PDCA method, this Kaizen approach. First, you need to plan. You get together your team and you plan exactly what you're going to do and what the route this plan is going to take, whether that's changing something a little bit, tweaking it, or radically changing it completely. So first, we need to sit down and plan it. This plan should look over the business's missions, values, and goals. Is this plan going to direct yourself towards this end goal you're trying to solve? And obviously that can be only directed towards a particular individual that is in this business and whatever mission or goal that has. Next, we have to do it. So step 2 is do. So you have to look down and say, okay, now we're doing it. You need to do 3 steps in this do process in order to maintain this Kaizen philosophy. 1, you need to train all of your personnel in this new philosophy of this is how we're now doing it. 2, obviously the actual process of doing the work. So you now actually have to do whatever it is you came up with. And 3, you need to record it properly. You need to record, say, okay, this is what we did before, this is what we did doing, and did it actually affect or change anything for the better or for the worse? And then you got to sit down and talk about it, I guess. Then you need to record all this information for future evaluations so that you can figure out whether it's did good, did bad, didn't change anything. 3rd step is check. So you need to check, 1, during the process, is everything going according to whatever you planned out? 2nd, you really need to review saying whether this actually got accomplished and if this particular thing that was planned out is actually done correctly or not. This is in your check process. You say, okay, yes, it's been doing exactly the way we had it. Then you're gonna look at talking about a meeting, whether this is a success or a failure. And lastly, we have the action. So this action is then taken to correct anything that went wrong in the whole process. So you want to record everything throughout the entire process to say, oh, okay, we messed it up on step 3. This can be helped a little bit differently. Maybe we'll do it a little bit better this way. And then you repeat the entire process over and again. So you start back with your planning method. First, you go back to, then you completed this. You went all the way through your PDCA cycle. Then you go back to your planning method in that cycle. And then you go to the do, and then you check cycle, and back to your action, and just keep on repeating the entire process throughout this entire endeavor. So what is it, the Kaizens? Is that, again, the constant never-ending improvement allows you to improve every day, allows your business to improve every day, or whatever you're trying to do just a little bit better every day. So what are some of the benefits of this, right? So a lot of it finds to reduce the amount of errors through this whole cycle. So you're constantly checking, you're constantly feedback, and you're constantly going through this again and again in order to minimize as many errors as possible and allow you to get the most productive and efficient way of doing things in your particular business. Or you could even do this in your everyday life. You find this thing you're trying to do didn't quite work, so you gotta write it down. Worked in a research lab for a while. We're constantly doing this. We're writing down everything we did for experiment. Did it work? Did it not? Kind of refine it again for next time. A great way to look at everything and improve your everyday life in your business and in general. Again, with this Kaizen philosophy, this JTI, or just-in-time inventory management system, is you say you're got a great buy on steel, for instance, you're manufacturing something. You want to make sure you have just enough steel to get all of your orders out of the way. You don't want to overbuy and allowing you to kind of just get kind of messed up, and now you have to store this extra steel and just add to the cost in the long run, even though you could save on this particular if you buy more. But if you're having to pay for storage of this thing, it could be quite a lot more money in the long run. In the end, is Kaizen a great way to do and improve your business? I think it is. It really helped out in a lot of Japanese businesses and really funnel them down and try to work on exactly what they're trying to do and improve that. And Japanese have always been known for their quality and their service of their products, right? So with that, thank you very much for stopping by. My name is Jeremy from Neko Nation Japan, and I hope to see everyone here again for my next video. Sayonara.